Hey guys, Cubicle Animatics here with another Minecraft video. This is Minecraft Superflat for 50 days. In this playthrough, I'm basically doing whatever I really feel like doing, just surviving, but it's definitely not normal Minecraft. This is Minecraft Superflat for 50 days. On day 1, I spawned in the world for the first time, and the first thing I wanted to do was to find a village. However, I took a quick detour and stopped to punch these two sheep. I'm gonna need this meat eventually. Food doesn't come as easy in Superflat. Next thing on the list today was to get some wood, so I started to punch this tree. I used the wood to make a crafting table and started to craft myself a pickaxe. I wasted no time starting to tear apart this random civilian's house, and I really hope they don't come home soon. But maybe they won't come home soon if they just don't have any security anymore? Ah well, I'm getting there anyways. I'm gonna make at least a bucket out of this. Or I could make like 4 shovels, either way. I swiftly began uprooting every crop in this guy's garden. And there really wasn't much else left in this village for me that was useful, so I just went to the next village and greeted this nice villager who kindly let me stay for the night. Day 2 I woke up bright and early, and first thing I did was promptly steal these guys' bed and run out the door. I stopped by to say hello to the cartographer and crafted myself some stone tools there. Look at that, it took me long enough to get an upgrade. I mean, I'm really slow at this game sometimes. I couldn't help but taking the village bell before I left, killing their security guard, and sleeping in one of their luxury penthouses for the night. I have a long day tomorrow, and I need to find a home. Oh, look at that, I found one. How surprising, it's not like villages are the only structure that spawn in super flat worlds. I found the blacksmith's house, and there's 5 obsidian inside. That's pretty awesome. After I finished looting some of the village chests, I went straight away to destroying some of their houses. This one also took like the whole rest of the day, but whatever, I had a good night's rest that night. I was really tired. Looks like I forgot to take down this person's front door, but now I'm going to use the cobblestone that I got from that house to craft myself some walls. It's important that we keep all these slimes and other mobs out of our main area. But before I headed to bed, I wanted to finish taking down this villager's house and light up a little bit of the compound to prevent mobs from spawning inside my walls. It's now day 5, and I started to make friends with the iron golem and a couple of villagers. This is Dave. Everyone meet Dave. And there goes Frank. Now I wouldn't say that Dave's work gets in the way at all, but he's pretty busy almost all the time, killing all those slimes so that we don't get killed. I'm gonna be honest, this is basically what I did for the rest of the day. I don't know why. Okay, so that wasn't entirely true. I finished some walling, but then I went to bed after that. The very next day I was doing the same thing, and then I realized this villager was going haywire. I politely knocked at the front door and let myself inside, but he didn't seem to be in the mood to want to talk. I then organized my chest, and as you can see, I'm a complete neat freak when it comes to this. Villager house number 3. By the morning, this whole thing will be gone. Now, I may or may not have procrastinated a bit, but that's kind of what I do sometimes, so the morning of day 7 is when I actually took down this villager house. Also, before I went to bed, I took some torches and lit up some more of the compound at night, followed by some very early morning walling, and taking down some random person's farm. On the morning of day 8, I decided to make a cobblestone generator. But with my 2 brain cells, I couldn't seem to grasp the concept of water making obsidian, so I did this. I then proceeded to mine obsidian blocks for the next 3 minutes. I'll never get this time back. Anyways, I got it, and now I have a cobblestone generator. All this cobblestone I mine will go toward the walls to keep the mobs out, but for now, the day is done, and... Who are you? Oh well, I kicked him out of my house, and now it's day 9. As you can see, Dave is doing wonders out at this wall. Without him, I seriously think I'd get ambushed every few seconds. After catching up with Dave for a couple of minutes, I went back to mining cobblestone to put towards walls. At this point, I've basically walled off the whole compound, but I think I still want to do a second layer. I don't know why this guy keeps coming back to this house, but maybe if I remove these terracotta and clay blocks, he'll want to leave. This is only the second night, but I started to get sick of it, so I dug a hole and introduced him to his new home. Now I know it may seem a bit repetitive, but in Minecraft Superflat you need to get a lot of resources, and I'm saying a lot of resources. So on day 10 I was mining cobblestone, I crafted some walls, and I wanted to make my walls too high so the big slimes couldn't attack you over our defenses. It's time for bed, but it seems like I have some sort of mob around my house. At first I thought it was this spider, but then I realized there was another spider chilling underneath my roof. No big deal though. But I'm not done my wall yet, and that's a big deal. I started to realize that since there's so many slime balls around, I should just craft them all into slime blocks, and then my brain thought, let's make a bouncy castle. So in the future, that's one of my goals. At the moment, I need to heal up all my iron golems. I smelted the wood, made some sticks, made some torches, and now I'm really close to getting the whole campus lit up. I'm not gonna lie, day 12 was pretty boring. It mainly consisted of taking down a 4th villager house and finishing the illuminating of our main area. Day 13 I was pretty excited for. I got my slime balls and my slime blocks, crafted the slime balls into slime blocks, and then today's the day we're gonna start our bouncy castle. Now I want to make this thing small to begin with, but then I'm gonna make it even bigger. How to build a bouncy castle in Minecraft. Start with laying out a square base and start pillaring up and do this and do that and then do some of this and then put that there and then stand back and boom, bouncy castle. Congratulations, you made yourself a bouncy castle. I was pretty excited for something that wasn't a building made out of cobblestone and wood and planks, so I grabbed some ladders so you could get to the top of the bouncy castle and jump off and just had some fun. I think it's going to start becoming routine that I come outside for an early morning bounce, but I ended up spending like the whole rest of the day AFK anyways, so that's really all I have to show for day 14. Alright, I'll admit it, even though I have Dave and Frank, I'm getting kind of lonely here without any other life in this compound. So on day 15 I decided I'm going to go and get some animals. Before I left, I put the coordinates in chat. I traveled all day and I finally settled to sleep in the 5th village that I went to. It took me a little bit, but on day 16, after a couple of villages, I found some sheep and some cows. It was now that I remembered that we were so far away from the base already and that it just wasn't worth it. They were only following me because of my wheat. I'll still have this goal of getting animals back to my base, but for now, I think I have to leave these ones behind. In case you didn't notice, it's day 17 now, and I finally made it back to the compound after a long journey. And I still somehow convinced myself that I wasn't tired enough to not go for a bounce though. Now it was getting kinda late, but I realized that I don't really have any source of food, so day 17 I began laying out a farm. Right here I realized I didn't have enough dirt to construct the rest of my farms, so I made a little staircase and started digging underground. I'm really excited to complete this farm because I've been living off of apples for so long now. I filled in the water, tilled the soil, then went to bed. Spawning slimes is still a big problem in the compound, so I started to put up these posts so that I can make some defensive barriers around the farm. For the rest of day 19, that's basically what I was doing. I was placing fences, fighting slimes, cutting trees, placing logs, stairs. But I'll have to finish all this tomorrow. I decided I didn't actually like the logs here, so instead I replicated the back wall and made it out of wooden stairs. Also, since I took so much wood up for that project, I'm still need more wood, and I'm cutting down those trees to finish up this right side of the wall. And this little ramp up so that I don't jump onto my crops and trample them every time I go into the farm. Finally, on day 1, I got the seeds into the ground, and I'm super excited because this means we'll have a renewable source of food. After planting the seeds, I went and took down this villager's house because I needed more materials, and I have an idea for another building, but this villager house is going to need to go in order to be able to see it from my house. Alright, tomorrow we have a long day. What brings the community together? All being forced to live under the same roof. On day 22, I started construction on the villager house. Aside from walling off all the other mobs out of our main compound, this is what majority of the rest of the cobblestone went towards. It took a while, but I finally saved up enough cobblestone and wood. So today, that's basically what this is all about. beginning the construction on the villager house. As you can see, I started with a sort of tiled floor design, which meant mismatching wooden logs and oak planks. I'm glad I got started on this today, but I'll have to finish even more of it tomorrow morning. Now, I'm no expert on how villagers work. In fact, quite the opposite. I just play the game for building, sometimes PvP and stuff to do with friends. But my main purpose for this villager house is to put all their beds in the same spot and all their workstations in the same spot. And maybe if I do another 50 days to 100 days, maybe I could begin a trading emporium in here. Since I'm doing this, there's also probably a couple other villager houses that I'm gonna have to tear down for resources, because they're not gonna need to live in them anymore since I have this big villager hall. Also, I would move it, but I think I have to keep the bell there for now. What are you doing in my house? Whatever. Everyone's been helping and putting their stuff together, so I handed out some carrots in the morning and I harvested my first round of wheat from the farm, which was really exciting. And I also dropped by to say hi to Dave in his new condo. And it's crazy, but I'm already running out of materials again. Welcome to day 25. We're halfway through this challenge and I can't believe that it's already been this long. I'd say the major thing for me in this challenge that's been difficult was just remembering how difficult it is to get certain materials you need for different projects because it's a Superflat world. Like for example, cobblestone. As soon as you get that generator going up, it's nice, but if you lose that lava somehow, you have to go traveling for another blacksmith in order to get your lava, because you can't go underground. It's only 3 blocks deep, and all dirt. I began the long process of roofing, and this is probably always the hardest part for me when it comes to building. At one point when I was back on the ground, I realized that I wanted to have some depth to it, so I moved the cobblestone base out just a little bit and added these logs for some pillar looking things on the side of the building, and I think I really like that. And I included this clip because he's still trying to sleep here. Day 27, I continued logging the side of the hall. And I think this is the 4th time, but I'm already running out of wood again. So of course I did some chopping, and then this guy was still in my bed. I'm gonna have to file a privacy complaint. But like all anticipated things, it'll have to wait because I took down this villager house in the morning of day 828 and I gathered some flowers to put it aside. And I think it really gives it that homey sort of feeling. I finished putting some trapdoors in the front to make it look nicer. And I finally trapped that guy in the hole! Needless to say, tonight was a nice restful night. Minecraft Superflat Day 29. Now that basically all of the villagers, workstations, and beds have been moved into the villager house, I'm pretty sure that it's alright to take down their other houses. Seriously, I think they're in a club or something. The Let's Not Let Cubicle Animatics Sleep Tonight club. Still annoyed at those villagers, I took my anger out on my wheat and the therapeutic bounce of my bouncy castle. Okay, so you see, I pick up slime balls on a daily basis, so I've been saving up for a while, and I'm excited to announce that I finally took down the small bouncy castle to begin construction on the bigger one. The small bouncy castle was 7 by 7, and this is 2 times bigger at 14 by 14. Of course, it's also much taller than the smaller one, and it's super fun to bounce off of. I mean, just look at that. Look at that. At this point, I don't care. I just want him out of my bed. I'm not even going to try to put him in the hole. Good night. On the small bouncy castle, there was these little arches going from pillar to pillar, so I think I'd like to do that again on the bouncy castle, but I don't have enough slime for it, so today is all about hunting slimes, getting those slime balls, and making those slime blocks. Nothing to see here. Nothing at all. You may or may not remember that on day 17, I attempted and failed to get animals back to my main compound, so today's the day I'm gonna try to get these cows back home safely. Luckily, I was coming home just at nighttime, so I avoided getting hit by any mobs or getting the cows killed. I safely put them in their pen and then went to bed. Day 33, it's time to build myself a new house. I've been living in this villager house for so long and I thought it's time for an upgrade. So day 33, all I did was spend working on making the infrastructure of the house, including the walls and the stairways. And I made the most of the night. By the time I got to bed, there was barely any night to sleep away. Both of day 34 and 35 were filled with building and collecting resources to complete it, And that's basically all I did for both of those days, but this is going to be worth it. Day 36, I was AFK again, but I was mining cobblestone this time, so at least I was being productive. Day 37 was well spent mainly chopping lots of trees down for more wood to finish the house off. As later in the afternoon, I spent some time putting on some trimming of stairs and wood planks. This is embarrassing, but basically all I did today was light up my house. That's it. I cut down trees in the morning. I worked on some roofing for the house. I evicted hundreds of slimes from my compound, lit up the side of my house, and very carefully made the arches on the bouncy castle on day 39. Day 40, 10 more days to go, and I'm harvesting the wheat from my fields. If I get this video to 20 likes, I think I'll have to finish to 100 days, and maybe in 100 days I'll finally fix the slime problem. But for now we're on day 41, and I started by killing slimes that were intruding my bouncy castle. I moved my bed into my new house, and as you may remember, I am a complete neat freak, and I began going all out with many chests and sorting them by color. I don't know why. Anyways, I placed down some furnaces and put the last couple items in my chest. Day 43, I realized my floor looked ugly, so I started taking it out. I had some fun on my bouncy castle for a while, and I extended the path toward the farm gate. And it turns out, making my own new house is not enough to get these people out of my house. So I didn't record for day 43, but I traveled at least like 4,000 blocks out to get this lava from many blacksmiths, and it was a pain to get. But I still have 2 goals to do at least in this 50-day Minecraft Superflat world, and one of them is to finish the nether portal. The other one is to make my new house's flooring this white terracotta. But this village only had one house with white terracotta in it, so the next day on day 46 I placed that terracotta, and then I had to go journeying for more. In a relatively close village I found this house and tore it apart. But fun news, when I got home to place it all down on the floor, I realized I was short a couple blocks. So I left home in the freezing rain at night and found this village to get the last couple blocks that I needed. It was pretty dangerous, so I slept at that village, and on day 47 I got home and placed the final blocks. I took the lava from the lava generator and moved it inside, and then took water from my farm to complete it. Now it was at this point that I remembered that I had sorted 4 obsidian into a chest, so on day 48, since we only had 1 more obsidian to go to finish the portal, I went out searching for a blacksmith. And as you can see, it took me many villages to find one. Luckily, I did end up finding one, and I headed home the same day. Believe it or not, it's day 50 and we just completed the nether portal. It's amazing how fast this has gone by, and also so slow. And although it took me a long time to remember that you can get flint in Superflat, I got the portal lit eventually when I saw this fire, and our portal's complete, so I was really excited about that. But then my building started burning down, and I needed to save it, so that was kind of a panic. Anyways, I'm glad that I could do this 50 days in Minecraft Superflat, and I'll see you next time.